inside. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging. And to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Dover Motor Speedway is a monster of a racetrack. Exactly 1 mile in length, Dover has some of the most extreme banking at 24 degrees on the NASCAR Cup Series circuit. Even the straights are banked at 9 degrees. Constructed between 1967 and 69, Dover Motor Speedway was initially paved with asphalt. It wasn't until 1995's comprehensive revamp that the track was paved in concrete, giving Dover's racing surface its distinctive appearance. No matter the pavement, Dover has long been one of the most competitive tracks on the NASCAR schedule. From 1969 through 1980, 21 of the 22 Cup races held at Dover Motor Speedway were won by drivers who either had already or would go on to win a championship in NASCAR's top series. The names of those winners are part of the fabric of the sport. Richard Petty, Bobby Allison, David Pearson, Cal Yarborough, Benny Parsons, and Darrell Waltrip. Jimmy Johnson ranks first all-time wins list at Dover with 11 victories, while Allison and Petty rank second. More recently, Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, and a host of other stock car legends have added their names to the list of Dover winners. A list that also includes Scott Sharp, Greg Ray, who also won a race during Dover's cameo appearance on the Indy Racing League calendar in the late 90s. Tonight, it's race number 6 of the Davidson Builders Cup Series, and it's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Dover Motor Speedway for race number 6 of the Davidson Builders Gen 6 Cup Series. Let's look at the race details tonight. 150 laps, 150 miles. The race distance tonight, 68-degree ambient temps, 62% humidity under cloudy skies, a 5-mile-per-hour breeze, track temperature at 99 degrees. Drivers are going to be working with 2 sets of tires this evening on a 55% fuel load. No fast repairs to speak of, and 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish, if so needed. Qualifying just about wrapped up here at Dover. We'll take a look at the best times thus far. Connor Leach fastest 22.456. Otta 471. Moore a 510. Jarrett Woodard going to go out and lay down a couple of laps. Handful of drivers have yet to make a time so far. Albert Anderson, Brian Torsha, Brandon Coleman, Jarrett Woodard on the track. Tom Barish hasn't turned any in qualifying, nor has Sean Roberts or Daniel Cunningham. A little loose on exit for Woodard. First lap 26 quick, 23.199. Lap 2 in the books for Woodard, stays in 26, does not pick up from his first lap. Still about 6 drivers to take a time here in this session. With that said, let's take a look at the schedule so far this season. Of course, the 6th race of the season here at Dover. And then next week we roll into Texas Motor Speedway. Then Bristol on the 10th. Daytona for the 17th. Nashville Super Speedway to close out the regular season on September 24th. And then the playoffs. We do Atlanta, the new version. Michigan Speedway, Iowa, Charlotte, Talladega Super Speedway, and then close out the season at Homestead. Certainly some exciting things to come this season. And it looks like the 6 drivers that opted not to qualify are going to choose to do just that and stay put. Brian Torsha, Albert Anderson, Brandon Coleman, Tom Barish, Sean Roberts, and Daniel Cunningham. None of those drivers taking to the Speedway. And that will conclude qualifying. We'll get into our starting grid here in just a moment. So qualifying officially in the books. Let's take a look at it. Our starting grid on the pole position with a lap time of 22.456. It's the number 71 of Connor Leach. Outside front row, missed it by 15 thousandths of a second. It's the 4 of Jim Ott. Row number 2 with EV Racing. It's the 18 of Joshua Moore. Outside second row, it's the 21 of Jesse Redding. Solid run. Jesse runs well here at Dover. Mike Kostek from Bandits Motorsports will start 5th. Mark Collins starts from the 6th spot. Jesse Sperling, 7th. 8th goes to Derek Welch. Mike Fahey, the number 19 from Lone Star Racing, will start in the 9th position. And Chris Goins, in the number 41 with Track Bar Motorsports, will start 10th. Nick Biddy will start in the 11th position with Dylan Bryant, the number 28 machine, starting 12th. 13th starter is Paul Durkee. John Luke Wilkie will start 14th. 15th starter, it's Ben McKinnon. 16th, Anthony Williams. 17th starter is Justin Lawson. Ken Couch will be 18th. 19th goes to Russ Endicott. Skylar Herod, 20th. 21st, Joe David. 22nd will be Crystal Volano. 23rd, PJ Cox. 24th, Scott Milner. Chris Klein, 25th. Jarrett Woodard, 26th. Albert Anderson, 27th. 28th goes to Brian Torsha. 29th, John Roberts. Brandon Coleman starts from the 30th position. Tom Barish, 31st. And 32nd will be Daniel Cunningham. It's your starting grid here from Dover Motor Speedway. Going to get rolling here momentarily. Still waiting on a few drivers to get gridded up. Looks like Derek Welch, Tom Barish, and Daniel Cunningham still needing to come to the grid before the field can roll off. Welch has entered the chat. Tom Barish, Dan Cunningham. Final call for Tom Barish and Dan Cunningham. And there the field rolls out. Looks like Barish and Cunningham not going to take the green flag, either opting to start from pit lane or just watch the race. Just for future reference, if you are in the session just to watch, you can enter the session as a watcher, and that way you don't show up in the classification. There's also no delay to get the field gridded up. See if the 55 of the 91 take to the Speedway. I'm kind of surprised the minimum of Cunningham not taking to the track. Not sure if he's got a different issue to be concerned with. The admins have added an extra lap to the pace laps. Usually only run one lap here at Dover, but it doesn't take long to get around this place. So they're going to add one, especially so they can enact their weekly penalties, EOLs. This allows everybody to get to the back and get doubled back up for the initial start. Honestly, I think Dover really should be a 2 pace lap track anyway, but what do I know? Again, race details yet again. 150 laps the race distance. 68-degree ambient temp. Cloudy skies, 60% humidity, 4-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temp cooling a bit, 92 degrees. Drivers with 2 sets of tires over the wall and a 55% fuel load. It's going to force some early pit stops. Pace car is going to make the hard left into pit lane. Barney, the flagman, with the green in hand, awaiting the call.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air. We're racing from Dover Motor Speedway. Through turns 1 and 2, Leach out in front. A car length's advantage over the 4 Jim Ott. One car in the wall, might have been Mark Collins off turn 2. Just a quick smack and continues on. Leach maintains the top spot. On a car length off the back bumper, closing up off turn number 2. Not enough to make a move. Everybody's single file, just about all the way back through the pack. 150 laps, 150 miles. Time to get settled in. Again, this place is going to chew up some tires, and you've only got 2 sets over the wall to work with. Got to be tactful on how hard you push that race car. You don't want to burn those tires off too early because you can very quickly and easily go down a lap. Even if you got pace, you burn the tires off, you're not going to be fast enough. Meanwhile, battle for second, Joshua Moore trying to make a move to the outside, but he gets in the wall. Moore smacks the outside safer barrier out of turn 4. Loses a lot of track position, and now he's under fire from the 8 of Mike Kostek for the 3rd spot. Side by side out of turn number 2. Mark Collins in behind in that Green City Chevrolet machine. Now Chris Goins into the picture. Goins in the 5th spot. Mark Collins having some more issues. Got into the wall out of turn number 2 now. It's the 2nd time we've seen him smack the safer barrier in just the first 6 laps. The tire pressure is still coming up to their set points, or anticipated high temperature set points. Meanwhile, Kostek does get clear of the 18 of Joshua Moore. Move the 8 into the 3rd spot. Leach continues to lead. Moore going to try and battle back here on the bottom of the racetrack. Kostek slides up into that second groove. Now Moore to the inside. They're going to make contact. No, Moore's loose on the 2 and he saves it. That was an incredible save, and Moore is already back on the attack to save that car on corner exit at Dover Motor Speedway. I don't think he ever lifted. Talk about impressive. Here we go again, still side by side. Kostek gets into him now. They bang doors down the back straightaway. Kostek up the racetrack. He might have some damage. Kostek's going to slip to the 8th position in behind Mark Collins. Just be trying to regroup. Meanwhile, Josh Moore gets back that 3rd position. Kind of saw the same situation with both drivers on corner exit. Little over rotation, little loose on corner exit. Saw Moore have it happen a couple of times while he was to the inside of Kostek. And Kostek had the same happen to him, but it sent him into the 18. Both drivers lucky in both instances that it didn't turn into a major incident. Well, Leach still out in front, Jim Ott 2nd, Moore 3rd, Goins up to P4. Dylan Bryant up 7 spots already in the 5th position. Mike Fahey in the 6th spot, he's up 3. Well, Kostek on the rebound, back to the inside of Mark Collins, takes the spot away. Kostek from 8th to 7th. Back out front, Connor Leach still contains the race lead, but now just a car length off that rear bumper is the 4 of Jim Ott. And you can hear it. Connor Leach already in fuel conservation mode. Wide open throttle on the straightaway. Lift and coast into the corner. Top 3 drivers remain the same. Connor Leach, Jim Ott, Josh Moore. That's where they started. That's where they run. Big movers through the field, though. Chris Goins started 10th. Already cracked the top 5 in the 4th spot. Dylan Bryant's kind of following him through. Josh Moore's had some pace early on, so it might be good just to run in the tire tracks of the 18 for the time being. Mike Fahey in P6. Kostek still back in the 7th position after his run in with the 18.
Caution.
And the caution's out.
Let's tell you about the car real quick.
And Jesse Sperling involved in this one. Well, let's see what happened. Oh, Scott Milner, Jesse Sperling, Jesse Redding. Caught it a little late. Let's back it up. See how this one got started. So it's between the 31 and the 29 here. Sperling's really closing the gap here out of 4. My guess is Milner might have had to have lifted for one reason or the next. And there's the reason. Sean Roberts gets in the wall off of 4. And just a little bit of contact. I think Milner thought he had more space than he did. He actually just drives right in the left rear of the 33. Roberts continues on, but you see that Sperling and Redding are going to get collected in this as well. Joe David sneaks by the 29 without incident. So pit stop's underway. Some drivers already completing that pit work. Mark Collins, Chris Goins, and Crystal Volano stay on the racetrack while everybody else pit. Krista Volano's hanging up topside here. Not sure the situation there. I think she should be in the 2nd spot ahead of Connor Leach. Her and Chris Goins both stayed out on the racetrack. Did not come to pit lane when they opened. She's still out on the racetrack. I mean, I suppose that Leach, Ott, and Moore may have gotten back out ahead of the 07 after the pit stop, but I don't know. Well, nevertheless, Chris Goins is going to restart with the race lead. Seems that everybody that hit pit lane this time did so for fuel only. Again, a 55% load tonight, not a full tank to start with. And when you come into pit, you can't get any more fuel than that in it either. So my guess here is Goins is just crossing his fingers for another caution to come out early enough that he can make that fuel stop under yellow as opposed to green. Pace car lights are out, so we're on the 1 to go. It'll be lap 22 when we come back racing. So first 3 rows would be Chris Goins, Connor Leach, Jim Ott, Josh Moore, then Crystal Volano, Dylan Bryant. Then row 4, we got Mike Fahey and Mike Kostek, Mark Collins, and Nick Biddy. That's your top 10. Pace car is in. We wait for Barney to wave it. Green flag in the air. Goins gets a great jump and spins the rear tires.
Caution. Anything to say about
And we got a caution here on the front stretch. A big pile-up at start-finish. Multiple drivers involved. Somebody must not have gone, but I see Crystal Volano's involved here. I don't know if she may have had the same issue. In fact, she just checks right out. Looks like she didn't have a whole lot of damage, but she just quickly exits to pit lane. I can only make the assumption right now that somebody may have spun their tires. Again, we saw Chris Goins had an issue with that. Let's see if we can figure this one out. Looks like that might have been the case. Again, her and Chris Goins both. Neither driver took tires or even stopped for that matter. Really, everybody else went in for fuel only, but Goins spun his rear tires a bit. Volano spins hers coming out of 4, it seems. We'll watch this slowly. In fact, we'll just go regular speed here. Yep, there it is. The telltale. When it hooks right up the racetrack like that and nobody makes contact with you initially, that's what happens. We can probably get a better indicator here if we listen to the in-car. You'll usually hear the RPMs go sky high. Not that Crystal wants to relive this, but we're going to do it just for her. You heard it there. All of a sudden those rear tires break loose and the engine goes sky high. So Goins continues to stay out. I know he was hoping for a quick caution, but the first 100 yards, probably not what he had in mind. Crystal says, thanks, Steve, in the chat. Not picking on you, Crystal. It just is what it is. This place is notorious for that, especially after we wear out some tires. Even the race leader did it. So 23 laps in, under our second caution. We'll see how this next restart goes. Hopefully a little smoother. Pace car light's still on, so next time by, lap 25, should get the one to go. Restart at lap 26. Chris Goins, Connor Leach on the front row yet again, then Jim Ott and Josh Moore. Drivers involved in that incident, it almost would be easier for me to tell you who wasn't. Let's go down the list here. There's probably some repeats, but of course, Crystal Volano, Dylan Bryant, Mike Kostek, Ken Couch, PJ Cox, Chris Klein, Jarrett Woodard, Paul Durkee, Albert Anderson, Ben McKinnon, Scott Milner, Jesse Sperling. Paul Durkee, I think we said that one already. We did. Big one here on the restart, front straightaway at Dover. Again, I got to remind everybody, we don't have fast repairs in this series, so any kind of damage that was sustained, these guys are going to have to fix it the old-fashioned way. Just pull down the pits and wait. But again, relatively slow speed. I would assume there's some drivers that all sustained some damage, but not significant. And honestly, I think Crystal might have been okay. Visually on our end, her car didn't look bad at all. That's not to say that maybe there wasn't some steering damage, but maybe she'll get back out there. And to confirm earlier, folks, Tom Barish, Dan Cunningham, neither driver taking the green flag here tonight. Field doubled up, back ready for the restart. Pace car in pit lane. Chris Goins, let's see if he can keep the tires on the pavement this time.
Green, green, green.
Green flag back in the air, up through the gears. Goins a solid restart. Connor Leach the same. Top three get away clean. Josh Moore a little hesitant on his initial jump. Didn't want to spin the tires either, but to the outside now. Connor Leach for the race lead off turn 2. Leach gets clear, takes over the top spot. Goins settles down into the second position. Jim Ott now way up the racetrack, going to try and build a run off turn 4. Now looks to the inside at start finish. Now into turn 1. Unchallenged, undefended. Chris Goins slips back to P3. Wise move just to kind of take care of it. Looks like Crystal is back out there. Maybe not liking how the car feels, though. She looks like she might be coming back to pit lane. Back out front, Connor Leach, Ott, Goins. Moore runs 4th, Collins now 5th. Top 4 getting away from the rest of the pack slightly. Mark Collins leads the second group. Watching these two battle right now, it looks like Ott might have the pace versus Leach, but you got to find a way to get around. Ott was about 200ths faster than Leach the last time by, but that's not quite enough to complete the pass. You got to set him up, get alongside, and get past. Ott goes way up the racetrack again. Going to try to build a monster run out of turn number 2. Not close enough to do anything with it if he does. On board with Jim. Little wheel spin off turn 4. Top 4 still single file, 32 laps in the books. We look back, Mark Collins running 5th, 2 car lengths ahead of Mike Fahey in P6. Justin Lawson up to the 7th position. He's up 10 spots, but more important right now, Skylar Herod on the biggest charge in the top 10 at least, 12 positions gained. He started 20th, now runs 8th, and he's knocking on the door for more. Skylar Herod, Nick Biddy, 8th and 9th. Derek Welch now in the 10th position, just behind these two. Welch a little loose off turn 4, keeps it out of the wall. Lawson trying to hold off the 3. Skylar Herod also trying to attack the 19 of Mike Fahey. Lawson drops it down, closes the lane up on the 3, but Herod is right there. Nick Biddy trying to challenge as well. He wants a piece of this action. Zach Millett in the stream chat says, quote, "Can't wait to see who saved their stuff and who didn't for that double stint." It's going to be fun to watch and find out. Lawson to the inside is going to take the spot from Fahey. Skylar Herod's going to try and follow him on through and do the same. Out of turn 2. Fahey's going to lose a couple of spots. Now looks like maybe 3 as Nick Biddy is to the inside of the 19. Welch trying to go 2 for 1 here. He was the inside of Fahey, but drops down to the bottom of the racetrack. Gets clear the 19. and the 32 of Nick Biddy. Moved Derek Welch up into the 8th spot. Just a couple corners. Biddy doesn't like it. He's going to try and fight back, but to no avail. So Lawson now up into P6. One car scrapes the wall. I think it might have been Russ Endicott. Joe David, it looks now. The 6 machine scraping the wall out of turn 2. Meanwhile, Brandon Coleman closed his into the back of the 57. Things remain the same within the top 4. It's Leach, Ott, Gones, and Moore. Lawson now takes the 5th position from Mark Collins. Moved the 20 up into P5. Lawson up the racetrack. Collins is trying to battle back to take back that 5th position. He's right there on it, too. Back out front, Leach still with the lead. Ott has been able to close the gap to within a 10th or so, and then it extends back out to 2, and then back to 1, and then back to 2. Last laps, pretty equal for the top 2 drivers. Leach with a 24.01 and a 24.04 for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. 5th was a 24.06. Do you think those guys are running some pretty tight race times up there? I think so. Meanwhile, Mike Fahey has slipped back into the 10th position. Let's continue further down through the field. 11th runs the 5 of Anthony Williams. Started 16th, having a strong run so far. Brian Torsha in behind him. He's up 16 spots. Albert Anderson, the first race of the season's winner. Albert Anderson runs 13th. PJ Cox back in P14. Russ Endicott, we mentioned briefly earlier, running in the 15th position. Started 19th, also having a strong run. Brandon Coleman in 16th. Coleman started 30th. Chris Klein in the 17th position. He's up 8. Jesse Sperling in the number 29. He's down 11, but remember, he was a part of that first caution, so he's had some work to do since then. Still time to do it, not even halfway. John Luke Wilkie runs in the 19th spot, the number 72 machine. And then Ben McKinnon, number 12. Last car on the lead lap. Meanwhile, back out front, Connor Leach starting to increase his advantage over Jim Ott. Chris Gones doing a good job hanging on to that 3rd place as well. Yet to visit pit road at all. And everybody that made a pit stop, for the most part, went fuel only on both opportunities. I think PJ Cox may have taken a set of tires on his pit stop at lap 23. It could have just been repairs, but unfortunately all I get is the pit stop time to indicate what happened. You kind of have to guess. Leaders in some lap traffic, Jesse Redding alongside the 4 of Ott. Chris Gones now to the bottom of the racetrack. Redding stays topside. Dylan Bryant going to roll through as well. Bryant, I think, is no longer on the lead lap, and that is correct. He currently runs 28th. Bryant involved in that incident, received some damage, spent about 8 minutes in pit lane getting that vehicle repaired. Meanwhile, Jesse Redding losing connection. There he is, he's back, and now he's not. So Redding having some problems with the internet connection. Hopefully we can get that righted. Meanwhile, Scott Milner comes to pit lane. Milner also involved in that first caution that we had this evening. With himself and Sean Roberts and Jesse Sperling. Spent not too long in the pits getting repairs made, but he's going to bolt on a set of right side tires, likely going to be 4 tires. And there it is. Chris Goins also going to come to pit lane, his first visit today. Jones parks it in the pit box. Looks like fuel only for the 41 yet again. Still saving 2 sets of tires. It's going to be a handful until he can bolt those on, but down pit lane he goes. He's picked his strategy and he's sticking to it. While back out front, Connor Leach continues to lead, a dominating performance thus far. Jim Ott runs second still. Joshua Moore in the 3rd spot, a ways back. Justin Lawson up in the 4th position. Bart Collins rounding out the top 5. Welch running in the 6th spot. Skylar Heron up to 7th. Nick Biddy, Mike Fahey, Anthony Williams, the top 10. Skylar Herod fighting with the 79 of Jarrett Woodard. That is not a position. Woodard runs 25th. Made a pit stop at lap 39. May have taken some tires there, not sure. Field's starting to separate here. Not a whole lot of battles going on. Again, we've reached I think the limit of the tires at this point of the run. Of course, guys like Chris Goins and others are going to still try and push the issue and continue on those wore-out tires. Lap times are starting to fall off considerably. Connor Leach's best lap of the day was a 22.70. His last lap was a 24.60. Almost 2 seconds of fall off, which is definitely something you like to see in a competitive race. You really get to see who the drivers are, who can take care of their stuff for the long haul, not burn up those tires, and be a competitor all the way to the end. Meanwhile, some other drivers going to hit pit road here, Mike Fahey being one of them, PJ Cox another. Got a slow car off turn 4. I think it's the 20 of Lawson. Might have missed his pit entry. One car in the wall. Is that Jim Ott? Might have been Jim Ott. Ott loses a ton of ground to Leach. It was about 9/10. Now it's almost 3 seconds. And Lawson's going to try it again to come to pit lane. He's going to lose a ton of track position out of this. Let's go back and see. There's more information here. This is just a few laps ago. Lawson trying to get Woe down to come to pit lane. Locks up the left front. Can't get Woe down in time and actually spins the car out. Surprised we didn't get a yellow out of this. Lawson finally getting to pit lane. 14:63 to stop. A pretty quick pit stop. It's too bad he had to lose all that time prior. Meanwhile, Jim Ott's still on the racetrack. Don't know if he actually got into the wall. Doesn't appear to be any damage to the left side of that Ford machine, but yes, he was all kinds of sideways off before. Had to save the race car all the way down to the inside pit wall. His new race leader is Connor Leach, hits pit lane. Four tires and fuel for Connor Leach. He's not going to double stint, at least not yet. Derek Welch becomes your new race leader through this cycle of pit stops. Brian Torsha runs second, Sperling third, Chris Klein fourth, Ross Endicott fifth. Now Jim Ott comes to pit lane. Joshua Moore parked in just behind. Jim Ott down and away. Welch now pulls off the racetrack. He's going to come to the pits as well. Got some chatters in the stream chat. Of course, Lori Vickers says, keep pushing Jesse Sperling. We saw that earlier. Lori Vaught says, HBR TV, you always have a great broadcast. Well, not always, but thank you anyway. I try. That's the least I can do. Derek Welch in the pits, comes to a stop in his stall. Is he going to put tires on? Yes, he is. Sperling now takes over the race lead. Endicott second. Roberts up to third. Now Sperling's going to peel off. He's going to come to the pits as well. Sperling in the Vickers Auto Parts Chevrolet. We got Joseph Gill in the stream chat with a simple hi. Hi, Joe. Sperling in the box. Right side tires. Going to be 4 tires in Sunoco Racing fuel for Sperling. Same for Jesse Redding just up ahead. Nick Biddy's down and away. Ken Couch the same. Sean Roberts. A little deep in the box. Has to back it up. Still an unsponsored number 33. If anybody's looking to slap their logo on a race car. Body panels available. Meanwhile, back out front and after the cycle of pit stops, Connor Leach retakes the top spot. Josh Moore now, through his pit cycle, he's able to jump up a position into P2. Now, both of those drivers, Moore and Ott, made their pit stop at lap 67. They did take their tires. Connor Leach, 2 laps prior, also took tires. We'll see how that changes things throughout the course of the run as far as tire wear is concerned. Those 2 laps at speed here at Dover will make a difference. Just the question is how much of a difference. With all that said, Chris Goen still running in the 4th position, granted on his original set of tires. Still has 2 sets over the wall for the next 76 laps. With that said, we are at lap 75, just at halfway here at Dover Motor Speedway. We're going to jump out, get a side-by-side break taken care of. Stay with us. You won't miss a minute of the action, and we'll be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Dover Motor Speedway under a 3rd caution of the evening. You saw it during the side-by-side. It appeared Nick Biddy and Derek Welch coming together out of turn number 4. I think Biddy might have been slowing up for the traffic. I don't know if Welch didn't see it or thought he had more room, but gets into the right rear of the 32. Both drivers in an incident here on the front stretch. We'll go back and look at it yet again. Just a moment ago off turn 4. Through that caution, Chris Goins was able to come down and pit, finally take a set of tires, his first set of the night. He's going to restart within the top 10, and he's going to have a bit of an advantage. And his pit stop coming just now at lap 81. The freshest set of tires after him would be Brian Torsha. He came down at lap 68, so there's still going to be a big difference between those two. Stream chat picking up again here. Mike Hill, another name we think might be new to HBR TV, says hello from MS. Terrible with the abbreviations. I don't know if is that Missouri or Mississippi. It's got to be one of the two. Either way, thanks for being here. Thanks for saying hello. So Connor Leach still out in front. He's been dominant tonight. Josh Moore's going to restart right alongside with Jim Ott, Mike Fahey. Connor Leach with one win on the season at Auto Club a couple of weeks ago. Joshua Moore in the number 18. He won last week at Chicagoland. We got Larry Dickerson in the chat. Says, let's go Albert, Dylan, and Russ. Thanks for saying hello, Larry. So field working on a turn 2. They're doubled up, ready for a restart. Pace car lights are out, so lap 85 will get the go-ahead. As it stands right now, that caution coming out when it did puts only 10 cars currently still on the lead lap. Everybody from Anthony Williams on down, a lap down or more. Williams, however, in the lucky dog position if the caution were to come out. Actually, no, it looks like it's Derek Welch would have that spot. He's to the inside.
Green flag.
Green flag back in the air. Front row comes up to speed, relatively clean. Moore chasing up the racetrack. Might have spun the tires a little bit, but he's on the throttle into one. Leach maintains the top spot. Moore second. Moore's right there on the back bumper. Remember we talked earlier how Moore has 2 lap newer tires than Leach. That's not saying a whole lot, but at a place like Dover Motor Speedway, it will make a difference. Right now we are starting to see that last lap for Joshua Moore within half a tenth of the race leader. Back down the back straightaway yet again. Moore's taking a peek to the inside. Ott runs in third. Moore is quick. He's right there. He's really having to lift just to not run over this 71 right now. He's got to find an opening to take advantage of that pace. It's not going to last for long. You'll get to a point where those tires kind of even out between himself and Leach. Being that they're only 2 laps different, you got to go after it right now or you're not going to be able to. Little loose into 3. Moore takes yet another look. He's real strong into turn 3, but loses connection for a moment. There, he's back, thank goodness. Last lap, though, Moore was faster by a half tenth. Back to start finish yet again. What's the verdict? A little slower this time, about a tenth off the pace of Connor Leach. Connor Leach, though, using the benefit of that clean air out in front. He's got all the front downforce he can ask for. Meanwhile, Moore, running in behind, has got to rely on mechanical grip more than anything else, because he doesn't have as much wind on the nose of his machine with the 71 blocking him. Meanwhile, we talked about Chris Goins restarting in about the 10th position. It was the last car on the lead lap when the green came back out. He's already up 5 spots, taking full advantage of those fresh 4 Goodyears. Zach Millett in the chat says 25 plus watching, but only 13 likes. An excellent point. guys are watching the race, first off, thank you. Do appreciate that, but let me thank you ahead of time once again. If you can go ahead and click the thumbs up, hit the like button. We do appreciate that. Definitely helps us out. Gets more eyeballs on the channel, more eyeballs on the league. And it's free as Josh Moore gets the wall. Jim Ott's going to take advantage to the outside. Moore smacked the outside wall on a turn 4, pancaked the right side of that number 18 machine. Ott's going to stick to the outside out of turn number 2. We'll see if he can complete this pass. Chris Goins to the inside of Josh Moore now for the 3rd spot. Goins hunting the front here. On the charge, wants to get that thing in the wind and maybe lead some laps here tonight, maybe even pick up a checkered flag. He's winless so far this season. Dover, yet another racetrack that Chris Goins runs well at. We're seeing the proof of that right now. Obviously, he feels like Superman with the new tires. Now for the 2nd spot. Goins trying to get 2 for 1. Leach is going to close the door. Goins is going to have to wait till at least turns 3 and 4. Off turn 4, Goins still running in the 2nd spot. Last lap for Goins, 0.2 faster than the race leader. Goins clips the bottom out of turn 4, upsets the car a bit. Now Chris goes topside. Goins making a move to the inside. For the race lead, Chris Goins finally gets clear. Connor Leach takes over the race lead out of turn number 2. So Chris Goins to the point here, lap 98. He'll put lap 99 up on the tower. Starts to put some distance between himself and the 71. Goins does have another set of tires still sitting over pit wall for that next pit stop, and he gets in the back of Jarrett Woodard. Woodard very slow, breaks the momentum of Chris Goins, and costs him the race lead. Goins going to have to battle back for this one. Now he's stuck in behind the 71, who is not up to the same pace as Goins was out in front. Jumps down to the bottom of the racetrack yet again. Gets alongside Connor Leach. Will get clear onto turn 2. Tower operator in the chat says, go 18 more. 50 laps to go from Dover. Chris Goins back out in front after a near miss with Jarrett Woodard.
Caution.
And caution's out. Sean Roberts in trouble.
Bossman, you're doing a good job. You want to give us an update on that car?
Roberts sits at the top of the banking waiting for traffic to pass, and he's just going to exit here. Let's see what happened to the 33. Oh, not the only one. Looks like Anthony Williams maybe. Oh, man, he gets drilled. Ken Couch gets him after the fact. Let's back it up here. I think this actually started off turn 4. Yeah, he just pounds the wall. Tries to stay up there. Williams just gets into him. I think Roberts was trying to come down. He had to come down a little bit just because he was right against the wall. but there you have it. Now Chris Goins back to pit lane. From the race lead, Leach comes with him. Is it too early to take the tires? Really didn't get the most out of that set. Does he chance it here? Fuel only maybe? Let's see what Chris does. It's going to be fuel only for the 41. Connor Leach. Right sides are going in the air, so Leach is going to put his last set of tires on. He's going to gamble that this goes green all the way to the end. Chris Goins is going to gamble that he's going to have another chance. Well, under caution yet again here from Dover Motor Speedway. We're going to step aside and get a short break out of the way. We'll be back after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back at Dover Motor Speedway. Getting ready to go back to the green flag here. A bunch of wave around cars getting caught up to the tail of the field. Not sure if we're going to extend this caution another lap or not. There's a lot of cars getting the wave around, so maybe they'll get caught up before we go green. Field working into turn 3 here in just a moment. It's going to be Chris Goins and Jim Ott on the front row. Both drivers pitting under this caution, but neither taking tires. Connor Leach, however, he did take a set. His last set of tires that he had over pit wall. Justin Lawson, no tires. Watch the restart. Hopefully we don't spin some tires again.
Green flag.
Green back in the air. Jim Ott spins the tires just a bit. Cost him some track position initially. Connor Leach quickly jumps up into the second spot. Now Leach is going to be the one hunting the 41. He's going to go by Chris like he's tied to a tree. Three car lengths the advantage for Goins off of turn 4. I think it's just a matter of time though. Leach may not be super aggressive, however, knowing that he doesn't have any more tires over the wall. If there's another opportunity for tires to go on, he's not going to be able to take it. Chris Goins, however, does have that set of tires to his benefit if so necessary. Question is, how long before he gets an opportunity, or does he get the opportunity to bolt them on? Lap 108 here of 150. Leach has closed the gap. He's right there. What you want to see if you're Chris Goins is enough laps to go by that there's a big enough differential between the new tires that he can put on and the new tires that Connor Leach already put on. But also, not so long that he doesn't get the full benefit of it. He's got to have time to reel him back in. Skylar Harrod there to the back bumper of the 41. Lets Goins know that he's there. Harrod goes up into the second spot. He also took 4 tires. Mike Fahey is working his way up into the third spot. He runs fourth, but he may have taken tires as well. Spent a lot more time on pit lane. Likely just getting some more repairs done. And the caution comes out. Jesse Redding involved in this one. So is the 11 of Coleman. It's our 5th caution of the night. This might be the only opportunity Goins has to throw those tires on. I know it's not huge. But I think for Chris it might be now or never. We'll see what happened here just a moment ago. Off the nose of Scott Milner. That's the initial look. Let's see if we get a better view of what really happened here. Looks like this starts here with Woodard and the 11. So yeah, corner exit. Coleman gets on the power. Sends Woodard up the racetrack. Then they kind of collect each other. Redding tries to scoot by, but Coleman, in trying to save it, he may collect Redding. And then Milner gets into Redding and sends him back into the 79. Chris Goins just finishing up his pit work. And he did just that, put those tires on. 1485 the pit stop. He'll restart, I believe, in the 9th position when we get back under green. So we ride behind the iRacing pace car here, lap 112. So Chris Goins comes down at lap 111 for his tires. Connor Leach made his pit stop, the last caution at 102. Yes, there's a difference between the two. It's probably about 7 green flag laps at most, maybe 6, between the 71 and the 41. So looking at things here on this most recent caution, Chris Goins made a stop, 1485, 4 tires and fuel. Jim Ott, same story, 4 tires and fuel. So Ott, he's been lightning fast all night long. He's going to be a competitor here as well. Justin Lawson came down. He took 4 tires. Jesse Sperling took 4 tires. Granted, that was a lap 102, so he's on the same strategy as the race leader. So we'll have to keep a close eye on the guys like Chris Goins, Jim Ott, Lawson. Those guys taking their last set for the remaining laps here at Dover. Now, interestingly enough, let's ride on board here with Connor Leach. He's saving fuel under caution here. So my question is, I don't know what the fuel window was coming into tonight, but I gotta imagine it's right around the 45 to 50 lap mark. If Leach is really trying to save tires, he made his pit stop at 102. He should be good to go. Maybe he's just trying to plan ahead for that potential of a green-white checkered finish, or 3 for that matter. Lights on the pace car have gone out. Next time by, lap 115, we'll be back under the green flag. It'll be 36 remaining when we cross the stripe. Pace car is in. Leach and Herod will bring them back to the line.
Green flag.
Leach with a great jump. Update on Derek Welch. He runs in the 8th position. He did get his lap back. A bit of a hornet's nest here on the inside of Chris Klein. Jim Ott on fast tires coming in a hurry. Justin Lawson there. Oh, contact. Jim Ott gets into the 51. I think it was Chris Klein. Almost 4 wide for a moment, but Ott goes back to the bottom of the racetrack undeterred. Lawson a little loose just ahead of him in that number 20 machine. Lawson in the 10th position. Oh, Klein gets in there, drives right in the back of Ott. Tried to wreck him, it seemed like. Drove right in the back. Again, Klein does not have fresh tires. And there's the caution. Was able to drive right to the back bumper of Jim Ott.
They're going to drop down some oil dry here.
Ben McKinnon in this one. Trying to get righted here on the front stretch. Right rear wheel bent in significantly. A little too much rear toe for the 12. See what happened here. Off turn 4. Oh, just gets loose, tries to correct. Big time impact. Milner gets into him. Nowhere to go. And I hate to do it this way, but I'm going to back this up a little and watch this contact between Klein and Ott. I believe they got together at one point on corner exit. Yeah, right about here. Okay. So this is what starts this off, it looks like. Ott comes up. A little bit of incidental contact. Certainly not intentional. Looks like Klein takes another swipe at him. And then the next corner, hopefully the building's not in the way. I don't know, you be the judge. Looks like it to me. So, lap 119, Connor Leach, Skylar Hare will still be your top 2. Mike Fahey runs in the 3rd spot. PJ Cox, Joshua Moore, the top 5. Chris Goins up into the 6th position. 7th is Derek Welch. Nick Biddy, 8th. Justin Lawson, 9th. Jim Ott up to 10th. 11th, Brandon Coleman. Jesse Sperling having a good comeback this afternoon after an early race incident. He's 12th. Mark Collins, 13th. Chris Klein, 14th. And John Luke Wilkie in 15th. So right now, Chris Goins, the highest running car with the freshest set of tires. Remember his pit stop at lap 111. Everybody else ahead of him was lap 103, 102. Going to take a look at this post-caution. Getting some reports there may have been some contact, an incident between the 4 and the 51 during the yellow. Didn't see anything there. Oh, yeah, there it is. A little bit of just, hey, hi, how are you? Tempers are flaring. We're not even at a short track. Larry Dickerson to point that out for us. Thank you, Larry. Good catch. Pace car lights are out. We'll get the restart lap 122. Leach and Herod once again on the front row. And then it's Fahey and Cox. Orr, Goins, Welch, Biddy, Ott, and Lawson. Pace car is in.
Green flag.
Green back in the air. Leaders get away on a big jump. Leach and Herod fire almost immediately. It's like they planned it that way. Herod to the outside, just a nose to the right rear. Leach gets clear off turn 2. Leach going to cross over. No, stay topside. Herod's going to cross over. Back to start finish. Chris Goins trying to take another spot away. He's got 5th for now. Wants to take 4th from PJ Cox, and Chris Klein goes around.
You doing there, homeboy?
Chris Klein in trouble off turn number 2. Puts us under caution for the 7th time. Jesse Sperling in this one as well. Sperling definitely with some suspension damage, trying to get that car to turn right, and it just dumps him into the ball. Let's get a look. To rewind this a bit, it almost looks like Klein has an issue. Just starts to lose the rear end of the race car. No contact, just starts to get loose. Starts to steer into it, tries to correct. Little overcorrection, which is so easy to do on these backstretch here, being at 9 degrees. Sperling gets collected here. Anthony Williams in the 5 gets it. Jesse Redding gets a small piece yet again. So we pace around the pace car yet again. Be 25 laps to go when we come back to start finish. Fuel not likely to be an issue for any of these drivers to this point. Never say never, but with as many caution laps we've had in the latter stage of this event, I think guys have been able to save plenty of Sunoco Racing fuel to make it all the way to the end. Even add in a green, white checker or 3. So still not quite on the 1 to go. Next time by, it'll be 24 laps remaining. Should get the 1 to go then. Then the restart at 23 laps left. Larry Dickerson says, I don't know, didn't know NTRL was hosting a demo derby. Well, give him some credit. I know it's been a little rough these last handful of restarts, but they had a very good long set of green flag laps earlier on in this race. It was actually rather impressive. In fact, that was my thoughts. Like, wow, these guys did a nice job. But you get closer and closer to the checkered flag and things get a little more aggressive, a little more short-tempered. We've seen both of that here tonight. Sometimes the way that it goes, you gotta keep the emotions in check, realize it's just a game. But I guess at the same token, it does kind of make it realistic in that effect, because you see guys at the top level of the sport in real life kind of get frustrated with the other guy as well. It does happen. Lisa back in the chat says, Sperling just can't catch a break. Unfortunately, no. It looked like he was going to have a solid run here, maybe even a top 10. But after that one, I think his hopes of that have gone out the window. He's listed in the 18th position currently, still sits in pit lane, been there for a few minutes trying to get repairs made. This might be it. Right front still towed in pretty significantly, so I think the day is done for Sperling. Sometimes no luck is better than bad luck. In reference to Lori Vickers' comment in the chat, if it weren't for bad luck, we'd have no luck at all. Born under a bad sign. Yeah, I dated myself again. Anyway, pace cars in pit lane. Green flag about to come back out. It'll be 23 laps to go.
Flag.
Connor Leach on the throttle. Skylar Harrod gingerly doing the same. Field down into turn number 1. Chris Goins jumps to the inside of Nick Biddy. Oh, Biddy loses it, but he saves it. Up the racetrack, Chris Goins, he's still trying to save it. Josh Moore comes in, loses connection as soon as he gets there. Goins is going to drive away. Saw that one shaping up, and we caught it just at the end of it. Biddy and Goins almost ending their days earlier than they had planned, but meanwhile, Goins gets clear, and now the 18's in the fence. Sorry, it wasn't the 18, it was the 20. Moore continues to ride along. Justin Lawson back under power, and Jim Ott's in the wall. Ott drops down to the inside. He pancaked the wall. Not sure what happened there to the 4. Gonna rewind it and see exactly how this one happened. Jim was up way up top side of the racetrack trying to avoid. Ends up scraping that race car on the outside wall, so it might be day done for the 4 as well. "19 laps to go here at Dover. Connor Leach trying to cap off a very impressive run here this afternoon. Skylar Harrod, though, in the tire tracks, a few car lengths off the back bumper. Mike Fahey runs 3rd. PJ Cox now up in the 4th spot. Chris Goins maintaining P5 for the time being, but Josh Moore pressuring. Moore made a pit stop at lap 124, and he did have a set of tires still. Keeping that card close to the vest until the very bitter end. Does he have enough time to reel in Leach? Josh Moore working his way back to the front. Makes short work of PJ Cox. Moore to P4. Now goes to the inside of the lap car, Chris Klein. Klein goes up the racetracks, gives everybody room. Next on the list is Mike Fahey. About 5 car lengths ahead of the 18, 16 laps to go. Meanwhile, Fahey's starting to reel in Skylar Harrod. Lori Vickers says, I enjoy the broadcast every week. You do a great job. Well, thank you, Lori. Again, I do appreciate that very much. I try hard. It's all we can really do. Harrod, Fahey, Moore, second, third, and fourth. In contact, Moore gets in the back of Fahey. Pushes him up the racetrack. See if Fahey pays back the favor. Pinches the 18 down the bottom of the racetrack. Moore, and they make more contact down the back straightaway. Into turn 3. Middle of 3 and 4, still side by side. This for the third spot. Fahey certainly not pleased. Josh Moore now will get clear of Fahey. Fahey may have the run out of the corner. No, has to lift just a bit. Chris Goins gets to the back bumper of the 19. About a car length and a half, maybe 2 off Mike Fahey. Goins running in P5. Moore up in the third spot, starting to hunt Skylar Harrod for the second position. No longer a hunt. He's side by side. He's to the bottom of the racetrack. Should have the spot exit at turn 2, and he can set sail for the race lead. 12 and a half laps to go. 1.3 seconds back to second place. Josh Moore with 22-lap newer tires compared to Connor Leach. Does he have enough time to catch and pass the 71? Sometimes it's just a matter of being the last driver to take that set of tires. On board with Connor Leach is the 18 of Josh Moore, getting larger and larger in the rearview mirror. Meanwhile, Chris Goins getting by Harrod for the third spot. Deficit to Moore now 2.5 tenths, maybe less. It is less. 9 laps to go. Leach, Moore, and Moore is there within less than 1 car length. Coming to the line, it'll be 8 laps to go. Moore's got plenty of time to make this pass happen. How wide does the 71 of Leach make his race car? He's going to have to make it very wide as Moore is fast with fresher tires. Moore takes a look, drops to the inside. Not enough room to make it happen. Leach slams the door on the 18, coming back to the stripe yet again, up the racetrack. Moore gets in the fence real hard. Moore's going to lose it. He's going to lose a ton of ground. How hard did he hit that wall? Did he really damage the race car? It's too soon to tell, but he's going to lose third. Goins is going to go to the second spot. I think Josh Moore just pushed the issue too much too soon, and with 6.5 laps to go, he's back in the third position. Lost 2.5 seconds when he hits the wall off turn 4. Let's see if he can manage to regroup, at least get back that second position. Goins hanging on to second for now, but Moore seems to be okay. If he had any damage, it's not real visible at this point. Right to the back bumper of Chris Goins into turns 1 and 2. Might have given a love tap to the 41. Certainly not bashful about doing that. Unfortunately, the connection issues remain, and he gets the wall again off turn 2. Be quick, but don't hurry. It seems Josh Moore is starting to hurry. That's when mistakes get made. And unfortunately for Josh, it looks like his chances of winning this race have gone clean out the window. He's not going to be happy about it. Connor Leach continuing to build his lead over Chris Goins. It's 2.7 seconds off turn 4. 3 laps remain. Joshua Moore starting to lose ground to Chris Goins. Maybe he's just cooling the tires, trying to find a better way around the racetrack, but Goins maintains the second spot for the time being. White flag in the air, final lap for Connor Leach. 1 more mile to go as Brandon Coleman goes up the racetrack, giving the race leader some space. Leach doesn't need to force the issue here. He's into 3 and 4 for the final time. Off turn number 4, Connor Leach caps it off, takes the win here at Dover. Chris Goins will finish second, and in the fence yet again, Josh Moore to a 3rd place finish. Connor Leach from pole position to the race win. He still had to earn this one. Myriad of restarts here in the latter stages of this race. I think Leach is going to take an extra lap here. This league does provide extra bonus points for a clean race, so my guess is Leach might not have any incident points. Go that extra lap. Make sure everybody completes the race before you start doing your donuts. Cracks up the rear of the car. Now we can't tech it. Connor Leach celebrating just downrange from start finish. He's going to come back. It bumps into Skylar Harris. Leach very happy about this one for sure. So Leach finally parks it here at start finish. We're going to jump out and get a quick break out of the way. We'll be back with our top 3 hopefully after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Dover Motor Speedway, race 6 of the Dumb Thumbs Racing League Davidson Builders Cup Series in the books. Connor Leach in dominant fashion, taking the checkered flag and a race win, his second of the season. Connor, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Connor, congrats. We're talking once again. It's becoming a habit here. Congratulations on the race win here at Dover. Put the car on the pole position. Had plenty of speed. Very difficult to get around you here this afternoon unless somebody had a tire advantage. You didn't seem to utilize a whole lot of tire strategy. I think you seemed like you relied on your pace alone, or maybe I'm wrong. What was the plan coming into tonight, and did you stick to it?
Yeah, pretty much stuck to it. Right off the rip, it was pretty much, once I got a bit of a lead, I was clutching and coasting. I wasn't quite shutting the engine off, but I was clutching into the corners for quite a while, and then once that first caution came out around lap 17 or 18, whatever it was, then it was kind of, well, we can make it on 2 stops from here. And so yeah, then came in, didn't put tires on that stop, and I was pretty happy with, once we did get a full fuel load done and under green, I was pretty happy with the tires. They worked pretty good, so I knew the line I was running was working. And then it was kind of I wasn't sure if I wanted to put tires on the last pit stop I made when there was a caution. I think we had about 50 laps to go-ish, and there was a caution there, and I kind of thought, well, maybe I ought to save them, because I knew Gones had saved a set for later. And I was like, well, maybe I'd better save him. But then Caleb Sisk at Sisk Speed Shop, he said, no, I'd put him on, because you know how these races go when it gets down to crunch time. There's going to be some wrecks, and luckily there were, because guys were coming. And I held off the 18 and kind of he was right there. I thought he was going to have he kept getting big runs on me, and I thought he'd be able to get past me. But unfortunately for him, he hit the wall, and that kind of ended his run up there. But no, it was a fun race. I'm sweating. It was tough. I mean, I don't think I hit the wall once, so I was pretty happy with that. I think I said, coming in, just stay off the wall and you'll have a good day.
Yeah, Josh Moore was definitely coming in a hurry with 22-lap newer tires. He had a set that he saved, and he gambled big time, taking him on that most recent last caution. Bolted him on, cut through the field, and was right there. But yes, definitely got into that wall pretty hard after the fact. Gave up the second spot as well, and Chris Goins picked that up. But you drive away, you continue on, you take the checkered flag, and you win this race the second time of the season. Congratulations. We look forward to next week, and I should know better, but let's take a look at the schedule going into next week. Texas Motor Speedway, 125 laps, noon time. Another track notorious for shredding tires. What's the game plan going into Texas next week?
Sure, let's just race and find out, I guess. I have no idea. Not sure yet. It's kind of, your regular old cookie cutter track, 1.5 miles, so hopefully we do all right there. I don't really like 1.5 miles that much, but hopefully we can have a good run. Talk to you again.
So Connor, you're not much of a planner, I guess what it sounds like.
Well, we'll see. I'll maybe throughout the week I'll do some laps, but as far as right now, no plan.
All right, Connor Leach, congrats once again. Who do you want to shout out to before I let you go?
Sisk Speed Shop, Skunkworks Graphics, HBR TV. Just, you do a good job with the broadcast, and big shout out to NTRL and Derek and all the admins. It's a tough job, and they might have another long, tough night ahead of them here with penalties and whatnot, but they do a good job, and they're pretty fair for the most part. It is what it is. If they see it the way they see it, and that's the way it's going to go, and you can't be taking everyone's opinions. It's just got to be what they think, and that's the call, and that's the way it's going to be. But it's a tough job, and I appreciate them for doing it.
Well, Connor, congrats once again. Good luck next week out in Texas. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks, Steve.
It's Connor Leach, your race winner here at Dover. Next, we're going to talk to our runner-up, Chris Goins. Seemed like he had everything planned out.
Oh, yeah.
It seemed to work pretty decently for him up until the very end of this race. The cautions began to fall, and the tire strategy that he employed, well, it wasn't bad by any means, but this wasn't quite enough to catch the 71. Chris, it's Steve in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, Steve. You got me.
Chris, congrats on that second place finish. It was a job well done. It seemed like you had your own strategy right off the get-go. That first caution comes out. You and the 7, you both stay out on the racetrack. Well, everybody and their brother comes down to take fuel. You said, nope, we're going to get more of these. We'll pit later, and that's exactly what you did. What was the plan coming into tonight? It seemed like you guys were geared up and ready to go strategy-wise.
Quite the opposite, actually. The plan was
I
have
just
no
pretend.
idea what's going on. Yeah, the strategy was I have no idea what's going to happen. We're going to fly by the seat of our pants during this one. So when that caution came out at, I think it was like lap 18, I think I was running third or fourth at the time, and I saw Connor and them dive down to take. I knew they weren't taking tires, obviously, but I knew they were getting fuel, and I was like, with the distance we could go between 40 and 45 laps, I was like, I have plenty of time to stretch this fuel a little bit. Maybe I can kind of do something. And so yeah, when I realized that me and Crystal were the only two that stayed out, I started second guessing myself a little bit. But luckily we were able to stretch that first set of tires to like lap 82, and then we got a very well timed caution there, and kind of the rest is just being able to work our way back through traffic patiently, trying not to kill the car and kill anybody else in the process.
Joshua Moore, on the other hand, did kind of hold his cards close to the vest until the bitter end, took his last set of tires at lap 124, cut through the top 10 in a hurry, got through to you, got up into that second spot, and was pushing for the race lead until a mistake was made. You quickly take that second place back away and then hold off the 18 for the remainder of the race. Walk us through the closing laps and how you stayed out in front of Moore with those fresher tires.
Well, I knew he had fresher tires, and I watched him come in and pit in my mirror, and I was like, he did that last week too at Chicago. I think it was Chicago. And he kept tires till like real late and ended up winning the race off of it, if I'm not mistaken. So when I saw him dive down, I figured he had the tires. And so when I wasn't going to fight him too much, because a third place is better than a dead car. New tires, sometimes you got people that want to use them as bowling balls to get the slower guys out of the way. And I didn't want any part of that with anybody. So I figured I'd give some extra room. And then when he got up there with Connor and I watched them race, I was hoping secretly that they would get together and maybe let me catch back up to him a little bit. But I saw him get in the wall, and once we got past him, I knew he wanted to send it in on the bottom. So I just kind of rolled out a little bit early and planted it down there. And if he was going to get around me, he was going to have to get around me to the high side. And I knew he had kind of had a little bit of an issue with the outside wall with that right rear previous. So I was going to make him not do that to get around me. So it worked out.
We look forward to Texas Motor Speedway next week, a bigger racetrack, but yet again, another tire eater. What's the game plan going into Texas next week?
Honestly, I mean, every week it's, just go out there and try and keep as much pace as possible with saving the tires. Hopefully we get a few more longer green flag runs like we had in the middle, kind of the early middle of this race. And if we can do that, I think we'd be in a good position to score another top 5. I mean, we're, pretty decent at saving tires, and Texas isn't one of my favorites, but anything that chews up some tires, then we'll be in good shape.
All right, Chris, who do you want to shout out to before I let you go?
I want to shout out my guys and gal over at Track Bar Motorsports. It's always fun running it with these guys. Unfortunately, they had some bad luck tonight, but hopefully we'll bounce back next week. And we missed Zach and Alfie tonight too. So shout out those guys. Popple, you over here at HPR TV, Steve. I love going back watching these. The guys over at NTRL for putting these leagues on. Let's see, who am I missing? Track Bar Media, Eric Totson Agency. That S4 guy, we'll see him again next week, hopefully. Other than that, let's get it going again next week.
All right, Chris, nice job, and thanks for talking to us. Good luck in Texas.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Steve.
It's Chris Goins, your runner-up here at Dover. Next, we're going to talk to the driver, the number 18, Joshua Moore. I'm sure he's probably not real enthused with how this one ended up. Still a third-place finish, though, for the 18 machine. Josh, it's Steve with HBR TV. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Josh, congrats, man. The third-place finish and a hard-fought effort. You held the strategy real close to the vest there until the very bitter end. Took that last set of tires, lap 124, just cutting through the field like a knife through hot butter. But quite a surprise there, seeing you come out of turn 4, get into the wall, and unfortunately lose all that advantage that you had picked up trying to reel in Connor Leach. Walk us through the last handful of laps there. First you come out, you get by Chris Goins, and then you start attacking on Connor Leach. What happened to put you into the wall there in the closing laps?
Yeah, Connor was just so good at blocking all night. It was really hard to pass, so I was just trying to back up my corners, and I was just trying to get on the gas as soon as possible, and I guess I got on too early there. I knew I was, at first I didn't think I was going to hit the wall, then I was like, all right, I'm going to touch it here. I'm going to lose a couple tenths, and then for whatever reason, the front of my car just got stuck in the wall. But a little disappointing, but I'm still happy with podium for Muehlberger Custom Homes.
Solid points day for sure, and you can take that momentum into next week at Texas. Last couple races haven't been too shabby here in the Thumbs Racing League, but next week, Texas Motor Speedway. Again, tires going to be a premium out there, and you've shown an ability to kind of plan your strategy around that lack of tire availability over the wall. What's the strategy coming into next week?
Yeah, I'll probably see how the race goes, but assuming we have another lack of tires, I'll probably just go as long as I can, see what the gas mileage is going to be, then hopefully maybe take another step after everyone else and maybe get another win here.
Well, Josh, again, congratulations on hanging on to that third place finish here at Dover. Who do you want to thank before I let you go?
Yeah, first off, got to thank Bruce Muehlberger with Muehlberger Custom Homes. Then I gotta thank my parents for watching this, girlfriend for watching this. I gotta thank my college Wi-Fi for hanging on for this thing. It's very rare for that to happen. And then last off, I gotta thank you for broadcasting this.
All right, Josh. Thanks again, man. We'll hopefully talk to you next week.
All right, thanks.
Josh Moore, your third place finisher here from Dover Motor Speedway. Let's take a look at our official race results before we get too far into the weeds here. Of course, we talked to Connor Leach, Chris Goins, and Joshua Moore, your top three. Skylar Herod was fourth. Mike Fahey, fifth. Nick Biddy, P6. Seventh went to PJ Cox. Justin Lawson, eighth. Russ Endicott was ninth. 10th place was Chris Klein. 11th, Mark Collins. Jesse Redding was 12th. Brandon Coleman, 13th. Paul Durkee finishes in the 14th spot. Derek Welch, 15th. Jesse Sperling was 16th. Anthony Williams, 17th. John Luke Wilkie was 18th. 19th place finisher was Ben McKinnon. 20th went to Dylan Bryant. 21st, Jim Ott. Certainly not the night that he wanted. He had a strong run going, but it was not meant to be. 22nd, Scott Milner. Jarrett Woodard was 23rd. Brian Torsha, 24th. Sean Roberts, 25th. Ken Couch, 26th. 27th was Albert Anderson. Joe David, 28th. 29th, Crystal Villano. Mike Kostek, 30th. And those that did not take the green flag but still classified, Tom Barish and Dan Cunningham. That's your race results here from the Davidson Builders Gen 6 Cup Series, race number 6 from Dover Motor Speedway. It's going to wrap it up for us here. Again, if you guys are watching a broadcast tonight and you liked what you saw, maybe not necessarily the results, but the presentation of those results, give us a thumbs up. Help us out there. We do appreciate that. It's free to do, and it does help get the streams out to wider audiences, some fresh eyeballs on the channel, some fresh eyeballs on the league. It's just it's a positive all the way across the board. We can appreciate that. If you can do that for us, that's a bonus. It's going to wrap it up for us again. Congratulations to Connor Leach on his second win of the season. We'll see you guys next week at Texas. Thanks again for watching.